We take pride in the fact that we were the only university in the state of Texas this year to participate in a football bowl game, the men's basketball tournament, as well as the NCAA baseball tournament. Only school in the state of Texas.
A burst up the middle, Brooks on the move, touchdown! It's Brooks time.
Our student athletes continue to excel not only on the playing field, sports, and tracks, but also in the classroom. 12 teams with a cumulative grade point average of 3.0 or greater.
Wilson, open three. That's his shot. Texas Tech is going to stay unbeaten at home. Chris Patola, this was some night in Lubbock. I'm glad we got to be a part of it. It was the best environment we've had in college basketball this year, by far.
For sure. When you come to West Texas, folks, saddle up. You're going to go on a wild ride.
Good afternoon. There you go. Took it 3 times. We haven't been here in 3 years in this room together, and it took us 3 times to get that mic going, but thank you all for being here. What a great crowd today. Welcome to the 2022 Red Raider Club Kickoff Luncheon, here to celebrate the debut season of Joey Mcguire and the Red Raider football program. We're so excited about that. But before we get started, I did want to thank Spirit, Saddle Tramps, and the Going Band, along with the Mass Rider, for being here today. That wasn't planned. Thanks to Joel and Eric with the Going Band, Stephanie, Bruce, and Aaron with Spirit. And again, the Mass Rider, we're going to have a new name for the horse next Friday, thanks to our partners at United Supermarkets. So we're looking forward to that. And how about yesterday? Huge day already. Great job by Blaine Bill and his group for the Centennial Celebration. We saw that kickoff, and we announced yesterday the Going Band is going to Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade next year. How about that? First time in the history for the Going Band. Again, I mentioned it's 3 years since we've all been together for a kickoff luncheon. We haven't done this since 2019. And you think about that. You guys are obviously ready to get out. This is a huge crowd. Think about 3 years ago. How much has changed? If you came here 3 years ago and you had a cactus on your table, you'd be thinking, what the hell is going on here? But now you're like, hell yeah, cactus. Yes, of course, cactus. Coach Adams couldn't be here today, but he said, you know what I love about the cactus? He said it's like a defense plant. It's like defense, and he said it's durable, adaptable, tough. It's like we are in this room. Most of us in this room are all those things as Red Raiders. So we love the cactus, and one thing the cactus has shown us, whether it's 2019 or 2022, do not screw with Texas Tech fans on social media. You're going to lose. You're going to lose that battle. So enjoy the cactus. We've got a great program planned for you today. We're so grateful for each and every one of you for being here, and thanks to the Red Raider Club. If you're not a Red Raider Club member, you're going to hear a lot of stories today why you should be. We need you to be a part of this fight here at Texas Tech. If you can't feel the momentum that's going on right now in Texas Tech athletics, you haven't been around, because it is like I've never seen it before. We need you to be a member of the Red Raider Club. You have cards on your table. You can join us. You can be part of the fight. and there's a QR code. You can actually do it from your table right now, or you can do it old school and fill it out. We don't care. We just want to thank you all for being here, and thank you for being Red Raider Club members, and hopefully a bunch of you will become Red Raider Club members as you leave today or while you're here. Again, it's brought to you by the Red Raider Club. The Red Raider Club's annual fund raises the funds to provide everything our student athletes need to compete on and off the field. Scholarships and academic resources, like tutoring and the tablets. They use tablets not only for class, but they use it for game preparation as well, leadership development, nutrition, all these things. This is why we need you people, because there's so many ways you can give to us, but the Red Raider Club becomes the foundation for what we need. And it starts with a room like this today and the stories you're going to hear today, but we need you to be a part of that. So please join the fight. You old-timers in there that don't understand about QR codes, like some of us, fill them out. Do it the old-fashioned way. We'll take them up from you, or you can leave them at the end, or by the time you finish your cookie today, you could be a member if you do the QR code. So it's going to be fantastic. So make sure you become a part of what we're doing here at Texas Tech and the Red Raider Club. My name is Robert Giovanetti. I'm Senior Associate Athletics Director for Texas Tech University. On behalf of the entire athletic department and the Red Raider Club, I can't thank you enough for being here. We even have people in the cheap seats upstairs, so we appreciate all those people for being here. You know, in the past, this event and another event kind of kicked off the start of football, and that was the Chamber of Commerce breakfast that we had every year. Several of you have had your coffee or orange juice spilled on you by errant passes by Bernie or John Zwiker, right? We don't have the breakfast this year. We combine them. The Chamber is a longtime friend of Texas Tech athletics. Their mission is to strengthen, promote, and serve the business community. Their values are to be member-focused, have high integrity, innovation, and collaboration. This is a great example. We're collaborating with them on today's lunch. The Chamber's mission and values closely align with those of us at Texas Tech and the Red Raider Club, and we're proud of this partnership and throughout the year and to team up with this great organization. The Chamber has more than 1,400 members. Many of you in this room are Chamber members. We are proud to be joined by the Lubbock Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, as well as their new president and CEO, Kay McDowell, and her team. Please help me to thank them and the board chair, Casey Doyle, for being here today. Thank you, Chamber. You're down here. Today's event is also sponsored by Reliant and their parent company, NRG. Special thank you to Reliant for making their commitment to Texas Tech athletics and partnering with us to make this afternoon possible. We have some great news with Reliant. If you haven't been, shame on you if you're not following our social and our webpage. We have exciting news about Reliant. We announced it earlier this week. They're a proud partner of Texas Tech athletics, powering football, basketball, baseball, men's and women's basketball, everything else, and the Alumni Association over the next few years. Reliant is a perfect partner for Texas Tech. We're thrilled to welcome them to our family. We're excited to see that relationship with them continue to grow. Energy is a Fortune 200 company that provides electricity, natural gas, and energy solutions to millions of customers throughout North America. Reliant is an energy company. It's a provider with deep Texas roots, with nationally recognized for outstanding customer service and taking care of the customers. Again, we talked about this with the Chamber, aligning with what we want to do at Texas Tech Athletics. Reliant is proud to be an involved member of the Chamber for the past 5 years and also a cornerstone partner of the South Plains Food Bank. They also stole one of our employees. They have hired two-time Texas Tech graduate and former Tech employee. We're going to look past that, Anna Delano, to be their regional market development manager. So thank you again to Reliant and NRG for their support of this annual luncheon and this new partnership. Again, let's welcome and thank Reliant and NRG for being here with us today. I want to recognize a few people here in the crowd. Please help me and welcome. I know he's here. I saw him walking in. Regent Mark Griffin is here today. So Regent Griffin, there he is. Chancellor Ted Mitchell is in the house somewhere, right there, right in front of me. President Lauren Skuvenek is here today. President Skuvenek. U.S. Representative Jody Arrington is in the house. Jody, where's Jody? Okay. And of course, our athletic director, Kirby Hocutt, is here. We'll hear from Kirby, I'm not trying to take your applause away from you. We'll hear from Kirby and President Skubanek here in just a little bit. So we've got a great program. We're excited to be here. We're excited you're here. While you're sitting there at that table, you can join the Red Raider Club and be a part of our fight. We need you with us, and we're ready to get going. So I'm going to bring up here President Skubanek. President Skubanek has been at Texas Tech now for more than 40 years. And one time he travels with us a lot on the road, and he was outside, we were outside, and I was out of breath going up the stairs, and he was fine, and he kind of looked at me kind of like he was disappointed in me. And he talked about his heart rate never gets up. That's why he's a great runner, right, President Skubanek? He's a great runner. So he may live forever. He may be here for the bicentennial if this goes on, because he's done so much. Since he's become the 17th president in 2016, he's overseen unprecedented enrollment growth, record investments in research and fundraising, the designation as both a Carnegie Tier 1 research institution and a Hispanic serving institution. Under his guidance, Texas Tech has initiated more than $900 million in new facilities and opened a branch campus in San Jose, Costa Rica, that's a tough one, and the Texas Tech University School of Veterinary Medicine in Amarillo. President Skubanek is proud to serve Texas Tech in the special years we mentioned. We're about to start a big centennial celebration. Not a better guy to be leading that for us. He's a great representative for us in athletics. He's also the current chair of the Big 12 Board of Directors. Please welcome President Lawrence Skubanek.
Thank you, Robert. I don't run much anymore. I went to play pickleball with the Crowfoots a while back, and I've never been the same. Thank you all for being here. You don't know how important you are to our athletic programs and to this university. There's always a special atmosphere at the beginning of a new academic year, and I've been here a long time, yes, 40 years, but it's different. I feel something different. There's a different level of energy. Now, you're going to hear from Coach Stone today. We all love Coach Stone, and we know that he's about energy. But in the 10 months since we hired Coach Mcguire, he's upped the game. What he's done in that period to tell the story of Tech, to bring our fan base together, is amazing. So we're as Robert said, there's something very special going on right now. He's been a big part of it. But that applies to all of our athletic programs and also for the things going on at the university. I appreciate Robert's mention of the production yesterday announcing the launch of the Centennial Celebration. The students of the College of Visual and Performing Arts and many others did a wonderful job of trying to convey what this university is about. And there was an announcement in there that Texas Tech has been selected to be the band in the Macy's Day Parade. And a gentleman named Wesley Wadley came from Macy's, and we met with the band before the production to let them know. And Wesley told those students, you're going to be in Manhattan, be X million people watching, 20 million watching online, and you're going to see excitement like you've never felt or seen before. And so when I thanked him for the invitation and the donation they made, I said, Wesley, you are wrong. You should be here on September 24th when Texas pulls into town and we're 3-0. You'll see excitement. No pressure, Coach. But that event yesterday was more than just that announcement. It was the story of how Tech, Lubbock, and West Texas have been so connected and how those connections are so important and such a part of our culture. And athletics has been critical to that connection to this community. So to every student athlete, all of the coaches, everybody in the coaching staffs, thank you for what you do to represent this university. There's not a greater fan base in this country than the Red Raider Nation. Thank you so much for what you do. You make a difference.
We're here to talk football, of course, but we do have some other fall sports going on. We've got volleyball, cross country, and you heard the president mention soccer. Tony Greystone, who took our volleyball team to the NCAA tournament last year, great season last season. He can't be here today. They are on the road in South Bend, Indiana to take on Notre Dame. We saw how that happened against Notre Dame earlier this year, so maybe we'll see the same results tonight for Coach Greystone and his group. And cross country will start on September 2nd in Abilene Christian. And soccer just had a tie last night. They've started 1-1 on the year, but we thought this would be a great time to bring up here. Talk about being around a while. A couple of old guys, Coach Stone and Coach Kitley, they combined, while President Skuvenek has been here 40 some odd years, combined, those two guys have been here 40 years. So please join me in welcoming the head coach of our track and field program, Wes Kitley. Yeah. And our soccer coach. You have to come this way, Coach. I don't think there's a way up, unless you want to jump up from over there. And then Tom Stone, here with us today. Thank you guys for being up here. Tom's wearing his swag. That's good. You look good, Tom. Tom's about to go one more. Go to California today. You already got the look going today. Yeah. So, hey, I mentioned it. Heard President Skuvenek mention it. Both you guys have been around a while.
Longer.
A little longer for Coach Kitley. Do you feel that kind of change in what's going on around Tech Athletics? Coach, you want to start, Kitley?
I tell people this every year, but yeah, it's the most exciting time that I have ever been a part of. This is my 24th season. I've never seen the excitement more, and just everybody on the same page. And so, of course, it's pretty fun for me to have my son back home. So.
Yeah, we're going to mention that in a minute, Coach. Well, you're big into culture, and you're big into, as you mentioned, energy. What are you feeling right now?
Well, I think that, when the president was talking earlier about it's such a great feel on campus, we can't deny what we just went through, right? And this is such a community, a connected community, that what we went through the last 2 years was just so un-Lubbock, so un-us, so unable to enjoy all the things that we all live here. And now we got it back, and you can't always put your finger on it, but when you just walk around, when you just feel the way our community has responded to really just being back to our normal lives, having that freedom again, having the ability to be everything that is Lubbock, Texas and West Texas, it's a vibe in and of itself. You can't even really put your finger on it, but that's part of what it is. And I think the rest is just leadership on down. I mean, look at how long our president's been a Red Raider. You look around the country, you don't find that. Look at the claims that Kirby Hocutt had the guts to make when he took the job here, and look at how many of those things have been fulfilled. We have aggressive leadership. We have new people that have joined our staff. We've never had a better coaching staff. I mean, I'm sitting here next to a national champion. We've got one of the most exciting, invigorating football coaches we've ever had here. I mean, it's Tim time, it's Wes time, it's Joey time. It just keeps going on. You really don't have to sleep on anybody because everybody's good now. And when I got here 16 years ago, we were one of the ones that weren't that great yet, and really there weren't that many good teams. You were kind of carrying the flag in a lot of ways. But everybody's good now, and that also makes it exciting to be an athletic, department member.
Coach Kitley, you just mentioned it. How cool is it for you? All this is going on, all this excitement, and then here comes Zach back to be part of that staff. That's got to be amazing for you and your whole family.
Yeah, Gio, it was always our dream. It was definitely my dream, and I know it was his dream to get back. We probably didn't think he would get back quite as quickly, being 30 years old when he got back. But, it's just incredible. I'm pinching myself every day. I can remember in 2008 when I'm in the bottom end of the Jones Stadium, and we have Graham Harold, the Crabtree, and Zach and Jonathan and Chris are bailing out my window to storm the field. I mean, he was raised a Red Raider. This is his school. He loves it. And buckle up, because I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's been great. And the grandkids are back and everything else, right? So there's been lots
of grandkids are pretty special. You can ask Linda about that.
Yeah, that's been great for you guys. I know I've seen you out there at practice as well. Tom, you guys are off to a start. You had a tie last night with New Mexico. You've got a young, really very athletic team. And again, I'm a soccer novice, as you know, but it sure seems like these last two games, you guys were the better team, just got away from you.
Yeah, soccer and hockey, you can dominate, and the goalkeeper can have a great performance, or you can just not finish your chances. I think that's what happened last night. It's tough to swallow 17 shots to 4 and not be the victor, but that's our game. And, if you follow soccer, you'll know, disappointing to all of us, they took overtime away.
because we had them on the ropes last night, and 20 minutes overtime, it would have been curtains for the Lobos, but we don't have that opportunity this year. So it's a little bit different dynamic, but we are young, and athletic is all get out, and really exciting team to watch, and it's a really fun deal. You know, for all you dads out there that I haven't converted to women's soccer, if you ever want to see women knock the living crap out of each other, it's not your two daughters. It's women's soccer. You can't foul out. You can get thrown out, which, you know, is always something that could happen.
From the coach, too.
Yeah, from game to game. But it's an awesome deal. Get down there field level and watch these girls get after it.
Hey, you're a sports fan, huge sports fan. What makes Coach Kitley such a great coach?
You know, since I know absolutely nothing about track in terms of the science behind it, the thing that I've appreciated watching him and have had many mentoring sessions with the guy, to be honest, is his consistency. 20 years ago, he was coaching a certain way, and he's certainly pivoted and evolved as the kids have evolved, but he's just so consistent. He's got core values, he's got core standards. It's in the weight room, it's in his faith, it's in his life, it's in the way he communicates with kids, male, female, kids from all over the world. Just so solid and so consistent. And I think when you turn your daughter or your son over to this man, you know he's going to look after him. And so not knowing enough about track to comment on how good he must be about coaching him up, I do know that he has developed talent and developed young men and young women. And you don't always find that everywhere anymore in coaching.
And he's very amiable and friendly and all those things, but he's pretty competitive too.
This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could say that. So first week on the job, he comes in and he says, Coach, he watched our team play. I've been on the job for a week. And he comes in, he goes, do you have a minute? I said, yeah. He goes, we got to do some things. And I said, what's that? He goes, you got to get faster, Coach. He said, you are never going to beat Missouri, who had just beaten us that weekend, until you're faster. And he showed up 3 years later, and we ran Missouri off the field. And I remember him leaving the stadium saying, told you, now that you're fast, you can win some games. So we appreciate you, Coach.
You bet. Speed kills, doesn't it?
Yes.
Coach Kitley, with all this going on, can you tell us before, last question for you is the relationship these coaches have here. We get to see it a lot working here, but I'm not sure those people out there see just how close-knit just our entire coaching staff is across the board. Men's, women's sports, everything. You guys are a good group. What does that mean, and how does that impact this culture here?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've been around 24 years here, and I'm in my 39th total. You do not find this anywhere. We have something so special here. I mean, I talk to him all the time. I'm talking to Tadlock. I'm talking to everybody on the staff. It is a relationship. We care for each other. We love each other. We're for each other, and we all get along. And I mean, the football staff, basketball staff, it's just all welcoming. And you don't see the track coach being able to be with those guys like that. And I just think it's something special that people take for granted. We don't, and I'm telling you, it's incredible what we've built here. Definitely, Kirby's brought all that to us, and I don't know what else you can say other than, we've just got the greatest program in America.
Coach Stone, always put this pressure on you because I know you can handle it. You and I used to be office mates. We're not anymore. I had to move.
Corner.
Smart corner. Take us home. What's your final thought here for this group before you leave and get on a plane?
So my final thought is about Coach Mcguire, because this is all his welcome committee for this fall season. This is your party, Coach. This is your team. This is your year. This is not your first foray into this many people because you've been around this town, which I'm going to get to. But I want to just tell you my quick little story about Coach Mcguire. So I like doing this. I get to get up and talk to a bunch of groups. I've spoke to a lot of your companies in different places, and it's all exciting. And all of a sudden I hear we got this new football coach, and the first thing somebody said to me was, Tom, you're going to get retired. No one's talking to you anymore. No one's going to need you. No one's going to talk to you. And I'm like, I get that. I mean, football, 80,000, soccer, 1,500. I get the reason, ESPN versus ESPN Plus. I know the hierarchy, right? I respect the hierarchy. But I'm like, who is this guy? And so I go to his press conference, and he runs out. He's like, Raider. And even the media, people that don't even like us, are like, Power. And I'm like, who is this guy? And then he's like, I want to say that all my life. And I'm like, really? All your life? You just got the job like yesterday. You sure you hadn't been wanting to say it since yesterday? But everybody's falling for it. I'm like, man, I've been through Spike and Cliff, and you just keep naming. I'm like, who is this guy? So then I'm going to the basketball game, and I always go up to Kirby's suite first, take my kids. We eat all the cookies. We go up there, Lindsay and I, and I'm sitting in the suite, and usually when I walk in, you guys seen the old Cheers, those old episodes of Cheers that Norm walks in, everybody goes, Norm, right? That's how it is when we walk in. It's like Stones, hey, Tom. You know, we walk in, Tony's always sitting there. And everybody's got their back to me, and I'm like, hey, everybody. And they're like, they didn't even turn around. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, Joey's about to do the Raider Power at the basketball game. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, was he born in a Texas Tech onesie? Because that's what he wants us to think. So then I meet him. I'll get to that in a second. So then I go to this birthday party for the Lewises. They rent out the entire West table. There's like 150 people there. Lindsay and I are there. We're all dressed up. It's all our people, all our friends. Can't wait to walk in there. I've kind of got this cloud over my head now. Nobody wants me to speak anymore because this new guy's here. And I walk in, and there's like 50 people on the dance floor. And around this guy is this whole crowd of people going, go Joey, go Joey. And he's dancing in the middle of this crowd. I'm like, this guy. And then guess what starts happening? Players start committing here like we've never seen. Talent is paying attention to us like we've never witnessed. The genuineness of him and Debbie, the reality that he probably was born to be a Red Raider starts to sink in. And I can't help but be just like all of you guys, I would suppose, to just be so on board with this mission, with this man, with this family that we've brought in to shepherd our football program, which is the most prestigious program along with, you know, what Mark's been able to do with basketball. It's the driving force of any athletic department. As much as I love going to baseball games, this is the thing that runs it through. And so getting to know this man and getting to see him and meet his family and see his investment in us, we know we have ourselves a Red Raider no matter how long he's been on the job. So given all of that, Coach, I have just 2 words for you in this whole journey of getting to know you, now knowing my place, probably my last time to ever hold a mic because of you. I have 2 words for you, Coach. Please win. Reg'em.
All right, thank you guys. Coach Kitley, Coach Stone, thank you for being here.
To be a scholarship athlete at Texas Tech especially has meant the world to me. It causes you to just grind harder, push harder, and just work even harder than you were before because you know you don't want to let anybody down and you really want to continue to earn that scholarship every single day.
I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I know that I wouldn't be playing Division I sports if it weren't for Texas Tech and the Red Raider Club, and I honestly just love it here in Texas, and I love soccer. I love getting to play the game I love and be around awesome teammates, awesome coaching staff, an awesome fan base, and so I'm really grateful.
And to be a scholarship athlete is more than just a scholarship. It's an example to my siblings. My parents are both immigrants from Liberia, and growing up they would always tell us wherever you want to go, you know, you got to work for it, and you ain't have enough to send us to college. So every day I had that in my mind, my best chance getting to college was getting that scholarship.
I've received my undergraduate degree in marketing, and now I'm able to pursue my master's right now, which has been amazing. I have lifelong friends, forever friends. I have forever mentors that I've received here at Tech, and honestly now I'm in a position that I've been able to mentor others as well, which I'm super grateful for.
To be able to achieve a goal that I set for myself at a young age, but to do it at Texas Tech where my mom went to school. I mean, I bleed red and black. It's a school I've always wanted to go to, so to be able to do that has been an amazing experience.
And now, more than ever, you know, I get the opportunity to change my family's life.
Thank you, Red Raider Club. I appreciate you for everything that you've done.
I'm blessed to have you guys.
Because without them, I would not be able to be here today at Texas Tech and play the game that I love.
There are 400 plus more stories just like those 3 we just saw. We love our student athletes. They're wearing that double T. They're our family, right? We all love Texas Tech, and these 400 plus student athletes are representing us wearing our brand. Brian Gates just texted me from the Red Raider Club that we've already had 51 new members today of the Red Raider Club, so that's pretty good. Thank you guys for being there. Again, it's foundational, your support of the Red Raider Club. Again, we're all in this together. Our student athletes are our #1 priority. This is something that Kirby Hocutt has really driven into us and talks about all the time. I'm part of his executive team, and all of us on our executive staff We understand the needs and everything for the student athletes comes first. Kirby wants to do things the right way. He's a forward thinker. He's a visionary. He understands the importance of a relationship. We'll talk a little bit about it here in a minute. As a genuine fundraiser who knows what it's going to take for us to be the best. This is a great time. It's a changing time, and a lot of people are confused about what's going on with name, image, and likeness. Kirby was talking to us about name, image, and likeness years ago, about, hey, this is coming. This is coming down the pike, and we need to be ready for it. And his vision helped create Beyond Verified, which is our NIL brand in the department. Make sure that we know every one of our student athletes has what they need to navigate in this world, because it's a crazy new world. It's kind of like the Wild West right now as things are happening. And Kirby has established this program for us. Texas Tech leads in the space. We've got education from local and national experts, and we are supporting the best brand building tools and apps for our student athletes. Right now, I was just trying to look here. Over half of our student athletes have some type of deal. They participate in some type of NIL deal, anything from a national campaign to a local business, and a lot of you have supported our student athletes through that. Our average compensation per deal disclosed continues to rise and outpace the national average. Under Kirby Hocutt, that has happened. He understands. Kirby cares about the student athletes first and foremost. He always puts them first. And one of the questions he'll always ask us is this the right thing? Are we doing the right thing? And how does this impact our student athletes? Under his leadership, our budget has reached over $100 million. It's keeping us competitive. It's driving our programs. We heard Coach Stone talking about it. Our programs now are challenged to compete at the national level. We have momentum. We have the best athletic director in the country. And now on his watch, we saw this earlier, we announced a $200 million renovation to the south end zone in the football training facility. When it's complete, it'll be the largest contiguous football building in the country, and undoubtedly, it'll be the best. That's get you fired up. Please welcome our athletics director, Kirby Hocutt.
Good afternoon. It's great to be here. It's great to see all of you. Robert Giovanetti, thank you. Gio does such a great job each and every day representing our brand, promoting Texas Tech athletics, and just appreciate all of his work and energy every day. And to think that we have such a great turnout today, we're here to talk about the seasons ahead, and we're positioned to collectively rise overall as an athletics department higher than we've ever been before. And I truly believe that we're positioned to do things that we've dreamed about in the past. It's all going to come forward, and there's great opportunity that we're going to celebrate as we move forward. But I would like to just pause, and we have much to celebrate together as we look forward to another academic season. And I'd feel remiss in this gathering not to just pause and think back to the year that's behind us. And we think back to the men's basketball season, another Sweet 16 appearance, and what Coach Adams did there in his first season. And to create what we experienced at the United Supermarkets Arena was very special. Undefeated season at home. Those were more than games. Those were experiences when our student body and our community and Red Raider Nation would come together that none of us wanted to miss out on. We had another great baseball season where we were consistently ranked in the top 10 in the country week in and week out. And it's amazing to continue to watch what Coach Tadlock does there. Robert mentioned earlier the volleyball season going to the NCAA tournament. Coach Kitley was up here. Last year, both of our men's and women's track and field teams finished in the top 10 in the country. We were only one of 4 schools that both our men's and women's teams finished in the top for in the country. And our men's golf team was one of the 8 final teams playing last year in match play. And Coach Sands just continues to do a great job there. And we mentioned the beginning of the soccer season. If those young women continue to compete like they did Sunday night against Arizona and the way they played against New Mexico last night, we're going to have a very successful season. But things seemed to change last year on November the 8th when we talk about the success. And on November the 8th, when he comes up here in just a few minutes, we're all going to brace ourselves, right? Because we're expecting what may happen. On November the 8th, we had no idea that when Coach Mcguire stepped out from behind this podium, what he was about to do. And Coach Stones recounted that. But something in the Red Raider Nation changed on that day. And the attendance at football games began to increase. The energy, the enthusiasm, the vibe around Texas Tech athletics changed with the beginning of the Coach Mcguire era. And it continued. I told our football team it was a significant step to celebrate as well on December the 28th when we went to the Liberty Bowl and we beat a team in the fashion that we did from the Southeastern Conference in Mississippi State. And those successes over the past year have led to tremendous success off the court and off the fields. We had a record-setting fundraising year last year. We raised over $100 million in Texas Tech athletics in support of our student athletes and all of our programs. Robert mentioned the $200 million football announcement that you saw the up-to-date new renderings of in the video that preceded me coming up here. That's going to be a state-of-the-art, one of the finest football facility projects in the country that you've ever seen. And that project is going to begin right after the Oklahoma game this year. That is right in front of us. And to date, we've had over 8,000 new season ticket holders purchase tickets for this upcoming football season. And these are just a few of the highlights over the past year, just to name a few, obviously not all-encompassing. And as Coach Stone mentioned, this is coming out of a world pandemic. And when we talk about momentum, what I've just mentioned, that is momentum. And it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because of Coach Mcguire. It doesn't happen because of Coach Kitley or Coach Stone or Kirby Hocutt or Robert Giovanetti. It happens because of you, the Red Raider Nation. And without you, we would not be where we are today. You provide the support, you provide the resources for us to continue to dream and aspire to be the very best athletics department in this nation, which we're going to accomplish. So it's my privilege on behalf of Texas Tech Athletics, our student athletes, our coaches, and our staff and myself to say thank you. Thank you for everything that you continue to do to raise this athletics department year after year on your shoulders and position us for success and accomplishment. And today is the beginning that we look forward, right? We look forward to the new seasons that are ahead of us and the excitement that football is going to bring to us a week from tomorrow. And it's also an interesting time in college athletics to look forward. And I get questions quite frequently now about, as we look forward into college athletics, so much is changing. And people like to ask, well, what's it going to look like in the coming years? And are we, Texas Tech, are we going to be okay in this unknown, changing landscape and environment? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Texas Tech athletics is going to be positioned better than we've ever been positioned before. But I recognize, as the athletics director, President Skuvanek recognizes, as the leader of the university, our head coaches recognize, our staff, that we've got to remain flexible. We've got to continue to be nimble to adjust during this time of change in intercollegiate athletics. And as was mentioned, name, image, and likeness. Conference realignment continues to change in front of us. We've just got to be nimble. We've got to be flexible to make changes that are needed to remain at the forefront of everything in college athletics. And you know what? Change is okay. Change is good. And change is great with us. And to recognize that, you only have to look at the history of Texas Tech University. And I like how Robert mentioned earlier yesterday's announcement by the President's Office and the College of Visual and Performing Arts. And it made me pause and to think back about history and change. And, you know, the Red Raider Nation, there's one thing that's undeniable, and that's the Red Raider spirit and the fight that we have to be successful. And as I was watching the performance yesterday, and it talked about the establishment of this great university in this community, it went back to 1923, obviously, and it talked about how we were competing against different cities to land Texas Tech University right here in Lubbock. And it talked about when the committee came to Lubbock, the people of Lubbock, Texas in 1923 came out and lined the streets to show how hungry and how much their desire to have this great university here. And you know what? Lubbock won. We won that day. We won that process, and it changed the dynamics of this entire region. And then my mind went to, I believe, somebody would have to confirm this, but I think 1956, and that was when the Southwest Conference was formed. And I love the Southwest Conference was formed way before that. Texas Tech joined the Southwest Conference in 56. And I love the story about some of the schools when we entered the conference were fighting to keep us out. And I love the story that a leader with one of the universities that was fighting to keep us out owned a department store. And the Red Raider Nation took their credit cards to that department store and cut them in half and mailed them to that leader of another university. And you know what happened? The Red Raider Nation won that day, and we entered the Southwest Conference. And then you fast forward to the Big 12 Conference and the formation. And although the leaders at our university and within our athletics department had changed, the leaders at that time fought and positioned us for continued success. So while leaders have changed, student athletes have graduated, and new ones have come, there's a pattern here. And there's a pattern that's going to continue to be true into our future. And that is that undeniably the Red Raider spirit lives, and we will be successful. And that there's no change, there's no disruption that will occur in college athletics that we cannot defeat or we cannot overcome by teamwork and the tireless work ethic that the Red Raider Nation represents. So as we move forward, I want you to know this. We're not going to back down in any endeavor. We're not going to back down in any way, and we're determined to rise higher than ever before as an athletics program within this great university and in this great community. And in fact, we're going to double down. We were very strategic when we announced this $200 million investment. When other universities and athletics departments are skeptical about the future, they're worried about what the future may be, the Red Raider Nation steps forward and says, you know what? We're launching the largest facility project in the history of our athletics department. And we're not going to back down from asking you to continue to be there to support our department and our athletics program. We talked about how important the Red Raider Club is. It is, and we need your support and continued investment there more than ever. We need you to purchase season tickets, as all of you have, and attendance. We can't stress enough how important it is for us to fill Jones AT&T Stadium starting next Saturday night. It makes a difference. We've seen the difference that attendance makes at the United Supermarkets Arena. We've seen the difference it makes at Rip Griffin Park. Now it's time to take it to a whole new level, and let's fill Jones AT&T Stadium for Coach Mcguire and these young men. So let me close so we can move on to football and what we all came to hear from some of our student athletes and Coach Mcguire. And I'll say this, regardless if it was 1956 in our battle to get into the Southwest Conference or if it's 2022, I'll tell you that Texas Tech athletics is moving upward. And we're going to continue to strive each and every day to raise trophies. And we're going to do it the right way. We're going to do it by getting better every day and winning every day in how we prepare. And by providing our student athletes with a lifetime changing, world-class education that they're going to continue with them forever. We're going to share a lot of success in the months and the years ahead together. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for what you do each and every day for Texas Tech athletics. Let's talk some Texas Tech football. Wreck 'em.
Tough, durable, adaptable, just like the cactus, right, Kirby? That's tied in perfectly. We've got a great creative content team at Texas Tech, best in the country. If you haven't been looking at our social, I told you before, our videos, our social media, our creative content is second to none. So as we let the student athletes that we're going to speak to, we got 3 student athletes we're going to talk to today, want them to make their way up here to the stage. We thought we'd give you guys a little gift too, and we're going to let you see our 2022 football intro video for the first time anyone's ever seen it outside of our offices. Again, this is a great group. As you're going to see in this video, maybe their only negative is they like to play with fire, and so the fire marshal doesn't love us too much, but we wanted to show you the 2022 football intro video.
Red Raider Nation, let's go!
So you guys like that? That was good?
Loved it.
Right, that's good. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? And I don't, you weren't there, you weren't in it, were you?
No, we didn't let them.
All right, we have Tony Bradford here, senior from Houston North Shore, Miles Price, a junior from the Colony, and Tyler Shuck, senior from Chandler, Arizona. Welcome these guys to the stage. Glad to have them here today. Tony, I'm going to start with you. I think I've interviewed you 100 times now or so. Last time you actually threatened you were going to turn the tables and ask me questions.
Yeah,
But-
I didn't come prepared for questions. for
Good,
you this time.
I'm glad you didn't. I don't have a seat either, so I'm going to stand. But what's it been like for you guys in fall camp? You told me something the other day about as soon as you get out of your vehicle, you guys ready to go. Tell our crowd a little bit about that.
Yeah, so like I told Rob, like as soon as you wake up in the morning and you park into C2 parking lot right there by the facility, you better be ready to go because you're going to enter a building with 15 different strength staff with their shirts and shorts ripped up because they're ridiculous. And you're going to have all this music, this rock and roll music playing, and it's going to be action time. It's no time to hesitate. It's no time to think about anything. It's just work from the minute that you wake up and step into that building in the morning.
Miles, same thing. I mean, are you excited right now? I mean, we got Coach Kitley. We talked to the other Coach Kitley, the first Coach Kitley, and they talked to us about Zach being here. What has that been like offensively for you guys?
You know, it's been something different, something I've never really been a part of before. They bring something totally different to the table, you know. We're going to throw the ball, we can run the ball, and they show total confidence in everybody, which brings us confidence, you know. When coaches show that they have confidence in you, it makes it so much easier for you just to rely on your training and just go out there and ball.
Tyler, big news last week that you were named the starting quarterback. Weight off your shoulders. Now you've got that, all the questions aside, and you can just concentrate on being QB1?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. That's something that I've been working towards this whole offseason. A lot of the guys on the team just putting those hours in the weight room, the classroom, on the field. So I think once it's obviously announced, there's that little bit of a breath, but at the same time, it's a long journey ahead. That doesn't really mean anything, you know, as far as the grand scheme of things. We have huge goals this year. We know it's just another step in the process, and we got a lot of things to do.
Hey, you're a guy that came here, you transferred here from another school. When you look at what's going on here facilities-wise, what does that do for not only you guys here, but potential student athletes that might want to play here?
Yeah, it's great. It's a game changer. I mean, I came from somewhere where that's a premium, and obviously it's going to pay dividends in recruiting, as we've already seen, and we're going to see years to come. But for me, the biggest thing is I spend most of my hours at the facility, and obviously, right now it is what it is. But when we have this coming up, we want to have the whole team coming here. We're watching film together. We're in the tubs. We're getting treatment. We're putting in work on the field. I think that's where it's going to show the biggest difference is we're going to want to be around the facility more. We're not going to go home. That's where, we've already been trying to do that and change that culture. So I think with this new facility coming along, you're going to see a huge change.
Miles, do you feel that? We've all been talking about the change in Texas Tech. You've been around. Do you feel that too? Do you guys feel that in the locker room and around the program?
Do we? I think you can see it on everybody's faces. If you ask anybody on the team, walk on, it doesn't matter who it is, they'll tell you the exact same thing. Like, everybody's bought in. We all feel the change, and we can feel it in our spirit. That's the truth.
Tony, you have said, hey, I'm a Red Raider, and you're a senior now. You've been around a long time. You may not be around for the facilities by the time they're all finished, but not trying to poke you with it, but how's that going to feel for you looking back and during your time here, what your time here meant at Texas Tech?
Man, the facility it just means a lot. Like Tyler said, we spend all of our time up there. I spend more time there than I am at my own house. Like, I love being up there. I get the treatment. I get to watch film. I get to hang out with my brothers. That building means so much more. And so for all the generous donors and everyone to come together to make that happen for us is spectacular. Yeah, I wish it would have happened a couple of years earlier so I could actually be there to run out of that tunnel and everything. But I'm gonna come back. I've already mentioned I'm gonna come back, and I might dress up a little bit and get that feeling again, because I feel like they owe that to me at least. But it's awesome. We're so grateful for the opportunity, and I can't wait to see what's in store for the future, man. I mean, it's gonna help out in literally everything.
I don't know if you guys have been watching the brand that's been coming out every week. Miles, you're getting a lot of camera time on the brand. How ready are you to say, I'll put all this aside, let's start playing some games? Where are you at in the process?
If I could line up right now and play a game, I would. I can't wait for everything to be done. It's just Saturday, 7 o'clock. That's what we're waiting on. We're ready to showcase everything that we've been putting in a lot of work, and it hasn't been easy. I'd be crazy if I said it was easy, but it's all gonna pay off. Like they say, hate me now, thank me later.
What are you seeing on Tony's side of the ball? We talk a lot about offense. What can these guys expect to see defensively? What have you seen?
Strain. They're gonna run to the ball. They're gonna play with high energy.
All right, high energy. Tyler, Coach Mcguire always talks about the quarterback room. So what has that been like for you with Barron and Donovan and you guys' relationship? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's really made this competition so much fun because we're great friends off the field. We have a lot of fun in the quarterback room. I mean, you guys should hear some of the conversations Coach Keeley and I have. I mean, it's amazing just because, when we get out there on the field, we're obviously battling and competing. We're doing everything that we can to showcase what we can do for the team. But when we're out there, we're bouncing ideas off each other. And we know that, if any given moment, and we've seen that last year, we're all ready to play. So obviously, I couldn't do anything without their help and their support as well. So I think we're just already excited to play.
Hey, as a guy who transferred in and then had to deal with some adversity, what's your Texas Tech experience been like? How would you describe it so far?
I mean, I really had no other preconceived notion about Texas Tech other than it was really windy and dry. And I came here and I was like, I didn't even visit or anything like that. And I came here, I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to move to Texas. These people are nice as hell. They're awesome. Because I come from the West Coast, everybody's just snobby over there. They're really mean. But I came here, went to Chimmy's, went to Funky Door a couple times. I'm like, God, this food's pretty good too. And but no, I really fell in love with it here. I mean, everyone I've met they're amazing. So I think when it's all said and done, I might move to Dallas or stay with Miles a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Miles, what's your sales pitch about Texas Tech when you talk to recruits?
I start with the coaches. There's no staff in the country that's like our coaches, from strength staff to GAs. They're all going to bring that high intensity, high energy every single day. Like Tony said, when you step in that facility, you better be ready to go. Because if you're not, you're going to be ready to go the next 2 minutes. They're going to get you ready to go. Regardless of how you feeling, nobody cares, like, what's next.
Do you feel, too, as a leader, hey, I'm going to pick these young guys up, too?
Definitely. Sometimes the young guys are coming there. Even me sometimes. I might come in there, and the young guy might say something, hey, come on, pick it up, you know. So it's just, it goes back and forth. If you see somebody down, you got to pick them up. That's what we're here for. We're brothers.
Tony, we're going to let you wrap it up for the group, but what does it mean? You and I have answered and asked this question a lot. Just your experience at Texas Tech. You want to be a police officer someday. You want to play professionally. You've got a lot of goals ahead of you. What has Texas Tech, your scholarship, done for you?
It's just made me appreciate everything a little bit more. From being from Houston, I'm from the big city and everything, so coming to Lubbock was an adjustment. But when I tell recruits, when I'm talking to them about everything, is that the people here are amazing, and that's like no lie. Like, you walk around the city and everyone is nice, and that's just a contribute to everyone that's included in this building because of all the generous things that you all have done to support the athletics, and that's also a contribute to our leaders here at Texas Tech. As far as president, our athletic director, everyone here has done so much and made this place so special for me, and to even think about a possibility of not being here forever because, you know, life happens, you're gonna move on and everything like that. It kind of gets you a little emotional because I love this place. I can't see myself being anywhere else, and that's why I've stayed. That's why I came here, like, because Lubbock is awesome. And my family didn't even believe me until I told them, I was like, you don't listen to the things you see online about it. Like, if you Google pictures of Lubbock, yeah, whatever. We got to fix some of those pictures. But when you have to actually come here and visit this city for yourself to see it. And like I said, the people here are amazing, and they're a big reason on why I'm happy to be a Red Raider and why I'm happy that I stay in Lubbock, Texas right now.
Like I said, there's 400 of these kind of stories. These guys are fantastic. Thank you, guys. Look forward to next Saturday, right? Let's fill it up next Saturday.
Thank
Tony
you, guys.
Bradford, Miles Price, and Tyler Shuck. Thank you, guys.
All right, I've introduced Joey dozens and dozens of times since he's been here. From Rowdy Overserved group in Austin, remember that, Coach? Yeah, we were there. Saw a lady fall down the stairs. To a less rowdy but overserved group in Fort Worth. Maybe there's a theme here to what we're doing. Hey, but every time I go to a place and they ask me, is Joey, yes, he is, yes. What you see, you heard Coach Stone talk about it. Yes, that's Joey. He was born on August 6th, 806. How about that? I mean, it's crazy. Yes. His dog was born here. His daughter went to school here. His wife acts like she's been here forever. Deb, she's been fantastic, right? She's just fit right in here to this community. She's got her guns up right now. So yes, all these things you ask about Joey, yes, they are accurate. That's what he's like. That's what he brings to the table. Coach Stone talked a little bit about it, right? Just how the Raider power and everything else. But I just had one story I told last week that kind of encapsulates Joey to me because he's so high energy. Well, two things. We heard Spike Dykes say, if you lose 10% of your fans every year, you're not going to, by the time 10 years from now, you're not going to have very many fans left. Spike wasn't great at math. But I've never heard anybody from Waco or Cedar Hill speak poorly about Joey. They must have 1 billion people there because if he's losing 10% a year, I don't know where they're going. He won 3 state championships at Cedar Hill. He's in the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. But what I was going to tell you is a month ago, we were in Arlington for Big 12 Media Days, and we were staying in a hotel, an older hotel. I was up on the 15th floor. My air conditioner went out. I'm not like a cactus. I'm not tough. I couldn't sleep. It was too hot in my room. And I was grumpy the next morning. I was irritated. And I'm standing next to the elevator with some business guy who's a salesman, and he's grumpy and irritated too. And we get on, he's telling me how crappy the hotel is and how bad his day is going to be. And we get on the elevator and we punch the ground floor, and like on floor 12, Joey gets on. We get this guy standing in the corner of the elevator. He has no idea who Joey is. And Joey's like, Gio, it's going to be a great day. This is going to be a fantastic day. And he's like hugging me and squeezing me. And the guy's trying to gripe some more about it. And then we stop on 10 and somebody else gets on and Joey greets them. And by the time we reach the first floor, the guy was like, I don't know where you work, but it must be fantastic. This must be great. He was like chest bumping me as we left the elevator. And I thought, he's going to go out and sell $1 million worth of whatever he's selling today because of Joey Mcguire. He doesn't even know who Joey is. And then we get over to the AT&T Stadium, and the same thing. There's a bunch of sleepy media guys getting on the elevator, and we open up. It's like a freight elevator, and here comes Hurricane Joey, and these guys are like spilling their coffee and everything, and it's just, and they all asked me the same thing walking out. I said, "Is this what this guy's like every day?" I said, "Yeah, I haven't seen him any different." I was on the plane when we picked him up in Waco. We knew from day one we were ready for Joey Mcguire.
I am so grateful for this team, and I cannot wait to meet each and every one of you and build a genuine relationship. I believe that is the foundation of every great football team. I know we have to have talent, and I know we do. We're going to build a love for each other. You can bring the talent and a genuine relationship and a love for each other, then special things can happen. I don't take this head coaching job because I thought I had to. I took the head coaching job at Texas Tech because I get to go to a place I've always wanted to go. And I get to be a part of building something special at Texas Tech University. Now it's time to get to work.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your head coach, Joey Mcguire.
Y'all already know how I'm going to start this thing off, so y'all can go ahead and get on your feet. It'll make you that much louder if you get on your feet, and let's do it together. So here we go. Let's go. Hey, if you're wondering what I've wanted to do all my life, it's going to happen September 3rd whenever we come down that tunnel at 7 p.m. and get after Murray State. That's what I've been waiting on now, is to get ready to lead this team out. Before I get started, I just want to thank y'all very much for my wife and I, for welcoming us into Lubbock, just letting us join your family. It's absolutely incredible, and she'll tell you this is the best place in the world. I'm going to start out. I don't know how many of my other football players, I know the guys, if there's any more of our football team that's here, if you guys would stand up real quick. Man, they're ready to go. I'm going to use Harrison Hanna, one of my ops guys, a couple of things because he's really smart. He has some really good one-liners. But the other day I was like, gosh, it was Tuesday, and I was like, man, I'm ready to play a game. And he said, you know, I used to ask, because he was an equipment guy at a place in Waco, and he would say, I would ask the guy that drove our truck what the hardest part of his drive was, and he said it was the last 20 miles. And that's kind of how this week's been. It's like we're in the last 20 miles getting ready to start the season, and it's just been incredible to see these guys put the work in. But they're ready to go. I mean, they're ready to go play a game. The next group I want to introduce is my staff. If all my staff would stand up, this is the best staff in the country. If our academic staff's out there, Mike and Kate, Margot, if y'all are out there, would y'all stand up? I don't know if they're out there or not. They're probably getting ready for study hall. If you want to know about our academic staff, there they are right over there. This team is carrying over a 3.0 into this semester as a team, and you know, they were putting in that work before I got here, and they just upped it, and we're trying to help them every bit of the way. I know I'm going to get started on this, and then Gio's going to come up here and we're going to do some question answer. But everybody that's part of athletics, whether it's women's basketball or our medical staff or Jonathan, who signs all the checks, if y'all are here, please stand up. Let's give them a huge round of applause. So our athletic department, if you would stand up, please.
I've been doing this for 29 years, and I've never been around a group of people like this. If you don't know, I know y'all all follow social media, so I'm going to give you a couple of ideas of like what's going on right now and how Texas Tech is changing the landscape of college athletics. When Holly Rowe tweets out what our women's basketball team, to where when they sign their NIL deal, and you start pissing off a lot of people in the other parts of the Big 12 in football because they're not getting the same thing that our women's basketball team is getting, you understand that Texas Tech is setting a standard that, one, everybody's chasing and they're not going to be able to live up to because they don't have the administration that we have, but they don't have the fan base that we have. The passionate fan base that we have is absolutely incredible. You know, again, Harrison Hannah. So the other day we were talking and he goes, I really don't think our fans understand how much they drive us. I don't. Y'all do. You know, Lawrence, President Skubanek said, hey, we'll be 3-0. I expect to be 3-0. If you're wondering, like, that doesn't put any pressure on me because I wake up every morning expecting to be 3-0 and I welcome them in. So whenever you say that, that fires me up. That really does. But that comes because I feel like internally, you know, I'm driven that way and that's what I expect. But I will tell you right now, being around this fan base, if there's something that I didn't understand about Lubbock, Texas and Texas Tech, and I felt like I understood a lot, is that how this fan base is just so passionate and how much you love your university and how much you love this team is absolutely incredible. And I'll give you an example. We've got other people in our conference, I'll just use OU and Baylor for instance, that they have these little NIL deals going on and it's almost like a GoFundMe deal and all this stuff, and they're all fired up because they're like 3,000 and 9,000. It's like, hey, way to go, whatever nation. Hell, we got TCU pissing off about cactuses, and we raised $15,000 over that just because they talked about cactuses. That tells you how fired up this fan base is and how they get behind this university. And so I can't tell you how much that means to me. I'm going to tell a quick story, and then I'm going to let Gio come up here and we'll do a little Q&A. And then talk about this football team. You know, my 13-year-old young Crowley self would have never thought that I had a representative, but in this business, you got to have a representative to get in front of the powers that be and get an interview. And so I called Alex, and he said, I think we're in a good spot. I think you might get an interview. And I said, I need Kirby Holcutt's number. And he said, no, we're in a good spot. And I think he thought I would screw it up. And so he was like, look, we got this, man. I think this is good. I said, no, listen, whatever happens, whether I get the job or not, or whether I get an interview or not, I need that man to hear the passion in my voice and how bad I want to be in Lubbock, Texas, and how special I think that place is. And so Kirby can tell you, man, I called him. He didn't call me. I was waiting on a call, but I called him first because I wanted him to understand how bad I wanted to be here. I don't think sometimes we take, you know, when you're at a place, you take things for granted. And I want y'all to, when you're walking out of here and then when you walk into Jones AT&T Stadium on September 3rd, don't take it for granted. There are so many people in this sports world that don't get to do what you get to do. There's so many people that don't get to experience 18-0 in basketball. There's so many people that don't get to experience what the product that we're putting on the field in women's soccer. There's so many people that don't have a track coach like we do that wins national titles. There's so many people that have a baseball coach that every single year, if you don't go to the World Series, then everybody's pissed off because that's what they expect, because that's what he does year in and year out. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've been around Krista now for a few months, I'm telling you, it's fixed to happen in women's basketball too, because she is an absolute rock star. I know y'all know that because she played here, but I'm going to tell you, she is a hell of a coach, and I'm lucky to coach with her every single day. It's an awesome thing. So don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted that because we have such a passionate fan base that we're just going to get really nice things. It's important that you're a part of the Red Raider Club. It's important. Whenever these guys come up here and they talk about their experience, it's because the people in the Red Raider Club help them be a part of that experience. So if you're not a member, please join. I don't know why you're not anyway, because we all got Red Raiders in here, and I know how much you love this university. So jump in and help us out whenever it comes to that. You know, I've been here, I guess, since November 8th, and Kirby will tell you the closer was my wife. She gave a wreck-em going out, walking down the stairs, and I think she is one of the main reasons I got the job. But, you know, I really felt like these guys would buy in. You know, if you come to work every single day, and the most important part of that building is the people in that building, you got a chance for buy-in. But if you really every single day come into a building and the players are the most important part of that building. We talk about it all the time. We talked about it the other day about, guys, understand this. Everybody in our building is here to help you be the best version of yourself. And so we've had tremendous buy-in. These guys are ready. These guys are ready to go play. And I'm going to end it with this, and I'm going to let Gio come up. I promise you this. I'm going to be here for a long time. And you need to understand, when you see us play on Saturday, and when you see us play the next Saturday, and whoever comes into Jones or wherever we go, for 4 quarters, you're going to see a team that has the same passion you do for your university. You're going to see a team that is going to play with great effort. You're going to see a team, no matter what's going on, we're going to say, what's next? And we're going to give you and each other everything we have every single snap. And when you do that, you're going to give yourself a chance to win. And that's what we're about to do. It's going to be a fun ride. I'm so glad you're a part of it. President Skubanek, Kirby, thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. For the Regents, thank you for letting me be a part of it. Get ready, because we're about to have a lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. I just need you to be there, not on watching it on TV, but be there in the stands and make Jones AT&T, just like what we do in basketball, the toughest place to play in America. It's a great day to be a Red Raider. Wreck 'em.
I'm glad it's Friday because we're running behind. I had one job to keep us on time, and we're behind time.
It's all right.
You ready?
They love Red Raiders. I love talking about the Red Raiders. We're in good shape.
So you mentioned the crowd, and you said something the other day. I'd never heard you say this, so I want to use it. Like marching your guys up to the highest section in the stadium. Tell us that story about that message.
So I sent Shane Beamer a text the other day, and I said, I'm going to give you credit on this, but Saturday or Sunday, actually, we're going to go up to the farthest section in Jones AT&T, and we're going to have our team meeting in that section. And the reason that we're going to have our team meeting in that section is because I want those guys to understand who they're playing for. I want those guys to understand, you know, that these people in these seats right here, how hard they work to be a part of that experience. And I want them to understand, you know, to have that attitude of gratitude. And when things get tough in the game, I'm sure they'll look up there and find a little bit more to give to make sure we come out on top. So we're going to do that Sunday during our team meeting.
Hey, I want to just give a tease, too. We've got an incredible video that we're going to play after this to kind of wrap things up.
All right.
So a little tease for you guys here. We heard Coach Kitley. We heard the senior Coach Kitley What is you talk really a lot about Zach and what he brings to the
Right.
table. Tell us like what you've seen from him.
Well, we have an incredible offensive staff, and two of them are coming back. They're Red Raiders. Stephen Hamby, he played on one of the best offensive lines in the history of Texas Tech, and, he's a tough guy. Y'all know that. And I think he's bringing that toughness to our offensive line. But, man, so fired up. Coach Kitley and I had been talking for the last couple of years, and if something happened, for us to be able to coach together, Dad said it. He's 30 years old, and I've never been around a guy. I was talking to his mom earlier. I've never been around a guy that understands the game of football and, your strengths and weaknesses, the way to play to it, way to protect your weaknesses, and then also understanding that there's another side of the ball. And a lot of times guys that come from different backgrounds like him, they really don't care if you play defense. They're just going to try to outscore the other team, and that's part of it. But the great thing about Zach, he's so intelligent that he understands that he's got to play off of Tim DeRuyter and that we got to play complementary football. That's what wins championships. We're not just here to win games. We're here to win the Big 12. We're here to play in the national championship and win it. And so that's what I love about Zach. He understands that, and I think that's what you'll see over the next few weeks is a guy that can play off of both of them play off of each other and be able to win games.
And you and Coach DeRuyter really preaching turnovers, take three, and you see a really aggressive side on that side of the ball.
Man, you said my favorite thing, take three. So at the beginning of that video that we saw a while ago, some of you might have seen the movie The Purge, but they have that siren that goes off. So in Jones AT&T, every time we get a turnover, and we're going to get a lot of them, we're going to lead the nation in turnovers, that siren's going to go off. So our guys actually start ball security and takeaway circuit every single day, and that siren is on loop. And so that's all they hear for 4 minutes is that siren. And so I can't wait for that to go off. So when you hear that siren, if you're not paying attention, that means we took the ball away, so get up and be really, really loud. If you don't know what's going on, if you're talking to somebody, if you hear the purge go off, that means just start yelling for the Red Raiders.
Your guys just look different, too, and that's been from the course of last fall and in spring. What's going on there?
I think my strength staff's here. I'm surprised they have sleeves on. If you ever come over to FTF, they're going to be sleeveless. I think it's a mixture. Our dietitian, we hired a new dietitian, Hannah, stole her from Stanford, and then we brought in the strength coach. It's just, and Grant's been behind it the whole way, just having our back, and the Red Raider Club really also of just, we eat different, we lift different. We're very demanding. Everything's mandatory. If it's on their schedule, everything's mandatory. And, it sounds crazy that you would think O linemen and D linemen and guys wouldn't, eat what you need. But, we've upped everything of what we're trying to do. We're old school. We believe mass kicks ass. So we're going to be a bigger team. We're going to be very physical. And you could see that in our bodies, in our body weight. And then we're old school. We're going to, football's been around a long time, and squat and power clean and bench has been really good for a lot of teams. And so we're going to bench, squat, and power clean. We have a PR bell that we broke the first time we maxed. So, that was a lot of fun. But our strength staff, they'll tell you, there ain't anybody more fired up in the building than those guys, man. They're cranking up some heavy metal, and they're there. First thing they got to do during camp is come in and weigh in, and they're just yelling at them, and fired up every time they come in.
All right, as we wrap up, importance of tickets and your final message to this group.
I really did. I said this before. I thought I understood Texas Tech, and then I went to a basketball game, and I see everybody crowd surfing. Dusty Womble's down there crowd surfing. I mean, like everybody's crowd surfing, and doing it's just, it's incredible. And I don't know how you don't have energy playing behind and playing in front of that crowd. And, I think don't wait. We're doing something that the guys have never done the way we practice. And I said, don't wait till we win to have faith in what we're doing. I need y'all to have faith that we're going to win. But I need you to help us by being there and giving the energy that these guys need. And I promise you, they deserve. They have worked their tails off. And not one time have they blinked when we've asked them to do something, whether it's different, hard, whatever it is, they've said yes, and they've done it. And so don't wait. Just have faith it's going to happen and help us do what we need to do on Saturday.
Coach, thank you so much for being here. Good luck. We'll see you next Saturday against Murray State.
Can't wait.
Coach Joey Mcguire, everyone.
Thank y'all very much.
It's a dry heat out here in West Texas. Drier than the heart of a haystack. Unrelenting. Almost every single day. Almost. Sometimes. When the conditions are just right, it starts building. Call it what you want. A shift in the wind, a smell in the air, an energy growing in the atmosphere. Everyone has their own way of knowing there's a storm coming.
The National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning at 9:45 p.m. At 9 p.m., National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Doppler radar shows this tornado moving east at 55 miles per hour. This storm is capable of producing golf ball size hail with destructive straight line winds.
This is your emergency broadcast system. This is not a test.
Starts September 3rd. Hope you're with us each and every week. Thank you so much. Take your cactus home, fight it out for who gets the cactus. Turn your Red Raider Club cards in, and we'll see you on September 3rd. We're going to end with a Matador song. Thank you for being here.